For my assignment, I was assigned chapter number 22 of The Prince, so here's a quick summary. So what happens? I would argue that there are two main points in this chapter that Machiavelli tries to prove. The big one being he argues that not everything can be effectively achieved by one individual. He does this by talking about how a prince cannot be a great prince without any help. He goes even further into this by talking about how a prince should pick his ministers, and then he briefly discusses the different types of intelligence that a prince have. Importance of a prince picking a good minister. So Machiavelli believes that is very important and it's crucial for a prince to pick a good minister. He says princes need to be very careful when it comes to picking a good minister. And then he says a prince cannot be completely effective unless he has a good minister. And then finally, he says that there are things a minister needs to have and a thing a minister should not have. So like personality traits and that kind of stuff. What a good minister is like. A good minister must always be loyal to their prince. A good minister values the prince for their ability to help them carry out plans. They must always show honor towards the prince and to others, and they must always show respect to the prince and others. What a good minister should not be like. Machiavelli believes a minister should not be extremely ambitious. He believes this because he believes a person who is ambitious cannot be trusted. He also believes that they should not be more worried about their own interests than the prince's interests. And then finally, he says they should not be the type of person that when you're seen with them, they give you a bad reputation. And then he goes into his next point, which is intelligence of a prince. So Niccolo Machiavelli believes that there are different types of intelligence levels that princes have. He believes that there are three main types that princes tend to have, and he believes what type of intelligence level that you have will influence what type of prince you will turn out to be. So, type 1. This type is where a prince could be intelligent to the point where he can understand things on his own, and he also realizes when others are understanding things. So it's pretty much he understands everything, but he can also see if someone else is understanding or if they don't understand it. Machiavelli believes that this is the best type of intelligence that a prince can have. Type 2. A prince can be intelligent to the point where he does not quite understand things on his own, but he can realize when others can understand something. So he might not be able to understand something, but he can at least find someone who does understand it, and he can ask them for help. Machiavelli believes that this is not quite as good as the last type of intelligence level, but just because a prince doesn't have the last type, if they have this type, they can still be very successful. Type 3. This is the last level, and this is where a prince cannot understand things on their own, and they also cannot realize when others know something. So they don't understand something, and they also don't have the resources to find, like, they can find out, oh, he gets it, because they don't understand that either. And Machiavelli believes that this is the worst type of intelligence, and that a prince with this level of intelligence would be doomed. So for my reworking Machiavelli's advice part, I will be reworking his advice to the prince on how they should pick a minister. And the twist that I'm going to put on it is I will be making it into how a person should choose their friends. Importance of a good friend. So like Machiavelli's importance of a good minister, here's an importance of a good friend. Growing up, friends can define what type of person you turn out to be. If you associate yourself with good people, that tends to mean there's a better chance of you becoming good. And then vice versa, if you hang out with majority of bad people, there's a better chance you will be bad. And not having good friends can make a person feel empty and unsatisfied. What a good friend should be like. A good friend will be loyal to you, not going to put their own interests above yours. They value you, and they help you when you are down, and look forward to doing things that you enjoy. And they also are going to give you a good reputation when you're seen with them. So it's pretty much the same as what Machiavelli believes that a good minister would be like. What a good friend should not be like. You should not pick a friend who has a reputation of using others, not someone who thinks that they are better than everyone else, not someone who is disrespectful, and not someone who, when you are seen with, they will lower your reputation. So this is very similar to what Machiavelli believes a bad minister is, other than the point where the ambitious one, that doesn't very imply here. So that's the end of my chapter 22 summary. Hope you enjoyed.